In the tranquil countryside of Brazil, on a quiet night, the engine of a young farmer's tractor abruptly cut off. With a puzzled expression, the young man looked around and spotted an oval-shaped spacecraft descending towards him from the dark sky. Bright red glow emitted from the silvery windows of the mysterious craft, revealing eerie humanoid creatures peering out at him. This 1957 encounter marked the start of what Antonio Vilas Boas describes as his living nightmare. The experience of being abducted by alien pilots and subjected to medical experiments is vivid in his memory. Yet, there's a distinct factor that sets his story apart from many other alien abductions. According to Antonio, he was seduced and manipulated by a celestial female being, resulting in intimate sexual acts. Do you often see strange lights in the night sky? Did you ever wake up in a field with unexplained scars and no memory of what happened in the hours before? Do you gaze at the vast cosmos and wonder, are we alone out here? If so, welcome to Snatched Cosmic Encounters. I'm your seeker of truth and forbidden knowledge, Johnny Lama. Tonight we travel to Brazil and explore the story of Antonio Vilas Boas, the 23-year-old farmer allegedly abducted by otherworldly visitors in 1957. To comprehend the bewildering experience Antonio Vilas Boas endured, we must first understand a bit about the man himself. Antonio was born during the Great Depression in Brazil to an impoverished farming family. Though they struggled to get by, the people in his rural village were simple, sweet, and pious folk. As a young man, Antonio's duty-bound destiny was laid out: work the land, provide for a future family, attend mass, live and die, as his forebears did for generations. But the fates had other plans for this humble Brazilian peasant. Our story begins just before midnight on October 15th, 1957. Antonio was working late as usual, tilling the soil alone on his tractor by the dim glow of its headlights. The humidity was thick under a moonless country sky brimming with stars. Suddenly, the tractor's engine cut out without warning, as if someone had sucked the very air from its pistons. The headlights flickered once and went dark. Antonio glanced around nervously. Had he run over something? Why did he feel that tingling sense of being watched from the shadows? Then came the blinding lights, followed by many terrifying figures with oversized heads gliding silently across the field. The strange creatures were only 5 feet tall, with gray coveralls and helmets hiding their faces. He screamed for help, to no avail. They said nothing, but somehow communicated to him telepathically to remain calm as they dragged him towards their hovering oval craft. Strapped motionless to the sloped seat, Antonio's pulse raced as he surveyed the spaceship interior, bathed in a glow of crimson light. Tall cylinders lined the walls, filled with bubbling, luminous liquids. Strange sounds echoed as the aliens communicated in their obscure tongues, operating foreign devices. Antonio began dreading what tortures were coming for him. But what happened next was more shocking than any experiment. The creatures led Antonio into another room, down a curved corridor. There, he found a woman, or at least a feminine humanoid alien, completely nude before him. As Antonio recounts, she was much better looking than the other aliens, and her skin was lighter in color. Antonio felt paralyzed as she slowly approached him, rubbing her body against his in undeniable sexual invitation, all while making unusual sounds. Antonio remains adamant they were erotic messages. As he recalls the bizarre encounter, "I think they wanted to make me relax. Perhaps they were studying my reactions." What happened between them defies all reason. Yet Antonio has never backed down from his claim that relations of an intimate nature occurred inside that spacecraft. But why? What could these voyagers from other worlds possibly gain from such an inexplicable cross-species liaison? The now speechless Antonio surveyed the alien seductress, strangely alluring despite her otherworldly form. Luminescent skin, flaxen hair, gangly limbs but smooth and milky, inhuman composure and grace. Waves of fragrance washed over him as she drew close, emitting pleasurable, low tones. Antonio remained paralyzed, pinned like a butterfly in a display case while she continued her assault of shocking caresses and deafening purrs. The room got very hot, Antonio recalled. She really tried hard to get me in the mood. When her outrageous seduction was at last satisfied, Antonio watched mystified as his new cosmic lover smiled knowingly and pointed to her belly, as if saying they had set a hybrid creation in motion. Antonio pondered the extraordinary purpose behind this unconventional merging of man and alien. Had his abductors sought the melding of DNA across galaxies to seed life anew, regularly studying his family line for future harvest, claiming a carnal prize from a distant world for secret purposes? What greater mysteries were afoot aboard this star-born vessel to make an unearthly beauty seduce a lowly human with such urgency? If we strip away the cynic baggage clouding objective judgment, an unbiased view of Antonio reveals a man of sound mind and body. His ordinary upbringing gave no cause to invent wild tales for attention. And while bizarre, Antonio's aliens lacked flashy silver jumpsuits or ray guns, rather plain working scientists on a mission unknown. But why perpetuate such a story over a lifetime without fame or financial reward? Doubters are quick to highlight contradictions in the details Antonio shared over decades. Yet his account aligned firmly to the alien encounter playbook years before it permeated pop culture. Small humanoids with oversized heads, the oddly angled gallery of blinking lights and glowing tubes, and the intrusive harvesting of human data points, skin, fluid, even reproductive samples for breeding projects. Known UFO obsessives were unlikely sources to have fed Antonio this story in rural 1950s Brazil. Perhaps most curious are the aftermath symptoms matching so many fellow experiencers: anxiety, impotence, disturbed sleep with strange visions, an irrevocable sense of unreality, as if one's old existence faded forever like a dream upon waking. Perhaps we should not be so quick to sneer. Below the surface of this ridiculed Brazilian's nightmare lie hidden embers of profound truth, yearning for the opportunity to reignite humanity's faded cosmic conscience. What lessons await us inside Antonio's mysterious crossing of forbidden boundaries? Did unfeeling scientists achieve their inscrutable goals? Will Antonio's offspring roam the galaxies, offering humanity's essence to eternal life among the stars? The cosmos still brims with profound questions like these, but for now, this concludes our transmission. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Snatched Cosmic Encounters. We'll continue shining a light on the shadowy corners of our universe, exploring extraordinary extraterrestrial encounters that defy simple explanation. Be sure to subscribe and leave a glowing review if you're enjoying our offbeat tales of high strangeness. Until next time, watch the skies and pray you don't get snatched.